What's up guys, it's Scoopman5000. Today we're back for another action figure review, and today we're starting out Mando week in celebration of the Mandalorian Season 2. Coming out on Friday. This whole week we're going to be looking at some Mandalorian themed figures, and what a better way to kick off Mando week than taking a look at the brand new Credit Collection. What these figures are repaints of the Mandalorian Wave 1 figures. They're painted up in a style that somewhat resembles the end credit artwork. Then we're getting them thrown in some Kenner styled packaging, and we're also getting a collectible credit piece included with the figures. And as soon as I saw these, I was just very intrigued, and the pre-orders all went up on these different websites. My goal with these is actually going to be getting 2 each, because I really do love these card backs. I've succeeded in that with the Heavy Mando. I got 2 from Best Buy. This one's going to be my opener because it's a bit warped. They didn't really do the best job shipping these guys, but luckily no damage was sustained. With this card art, you can see very Kenner inspired. You get the painting on the card back, and then a blister bubble in the front shows you everything you're going to get. Kenner logo on the bottom. On the back, it's a lot more Kenner inspired action. Really awesome artwork again. The same awesome artwork, but done in a wider shot. And the description reads, the distinctive collection features premium deco applications inspired by the end credit images from The Mandalorian, plus a collectible imperial credit accessory. After the fall of the Galactic Empire, usage of their form of money, imperial credits, become less common, with many planets refusing payments in the currency on principle. So I guess that's the same on every card back. It's just going into the lore of the credits. You can see the UPC on the bottom there, the Disney and the Hasbro logos. But we're going to go ahead and get this guy out of the packaging. So let's get to it and break out the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. And here's the Heavy Mandalorian out of the packaging. And for his accessories, he's getting the same accessories that were with the original Heavy Mandalorian, that being his backpack and minigun combo. So here you can see his jetpack in the back. It's a lot simpler of a paint job if you go ahead and compare it to the original release, but obviously this is stylized to look like a painting, and it is still on the back of the figure anyway, but it looks good. The same sculpt is here from before. That's obviously going to connect into his wrist gauntlet where his flamethrower would be, and then that gun also connects by a big tube, and you can see his minigun. Again, a simpler color. This one's a bit more of a gray as compared to the gunmetal on the original. And then where we had like the overheating effect on the end of the rifle, it had a silver and a blue on the original release, and here it's just painted with a bit of a blue splatter. And then this being the Credit Collection, you're getting the little collectible credits piece. This is like a bright silver, I guess you could say, and it's got the Imperial logo and the different credits. I guess this is how much it would be. This is like the numbers. That looks like a 7, obviously, but the rest is all in Star Wars language, but a nice little piece. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these loose. I think it's cool that they're included, you know, when they're mint on card, but where are you going to put these in your collection when you have them loose? But nonetheless, it's still cool. That's going to bring us to the Heavy Mandalorian. We're going to look at his accessory just a bit more up close before we go ahead and remove it for the rest of the review. So you can see the backpack here, and all these little details are painted on. You saw the photo before. You could see on the original figure, the tubes are pretty close in color. This one is a little bit darker of a black, and then to the gun in the front, you can see what I was saying with the colors there. And if you have the original Heavy Mando, you know that that peg's in the back. You get the peg on the wrist here to remove that. And then getting the gun in the hand can be a little bit tricky, but this does articulate up top here. The little trigger does articulate up here, so you can get it posed up how you like. But then that's going to leave us with the Heavy Mandalorian. And while not the most important character in the show, definitely one of the most toyetic, and really cool that he was played by Jon Favreau, who of course is kind of the mastermind of the Mandalorian. You definitely heard his voice in the show, and he might have even been in the suit. It's kind of got a similar body shape. He's a bit wider and a bit stockier than most of the Mandalorians, and obviously that makes him the heavy, the tank. And usually when you got a heavy tank character, he's going to be toting a big minigun like we just saw. But one of the, you know, the sleeper characters of the Mandalorian, obviously in that one episode, he kind of gets upset at Mando for accepting these Imperial credits and kind of taking jobs from the Empire. They get into a little bit of an altercation, but then come the next episode when he's got to escape with Baby Yoda. All the Mandalorians come to his side, and he's kind of the main guy leading the charge. Shows that there's some brotherhood in the Mandalorians, despite some inner conflict, but a cool character. Bringing back the original figure one more time, you can see the difference here. This is a more realistic take, and this is based on the paintings. So the paint job is going to be simpler, but the colors are going to pop a lot more. And honestly too, if you're building a Mandalorian display, you could almost call this a different character and just have him in the background, because it seems like all the Mandalorians have different colored armors and things like that. But you can see the big differences here. The battle damage isn't nearly painted on as much. You just get blue splatters kind of to represent the weathering. You don't get the silver around the faceplate here like you do on this figure. Pretty much all the silver details, except for these buttons here, are gone. And certain points where there's different colors are now just a solid color here. So on the Mandalorian's armor, you see this piece, this little radio is just cast in the blue. So you're really getting very simple paint, but very vibrant colors. And this is going to be the only review where I'm going to be able to actually do comparisons as of right now, because when we get to Cara Dune and also to IG-11, I didn't pick up those original figures. So it's also a good way of just getting these popular characters back out on the shelf. We're going to go ahead and remove the original figure, get a closer look at him. So he's almost got like a bright navy blue as his base color, and then he's getting like a cyan color painted over. So you can see where the mask is highlighted here. And then this blue splotching is done all over the figure, even on the other parts. It's, I guess, meant to represent the battle damage, but just in a more stylized way. You get that on the yellow gauntlet, on this purple one, on the knee pads you get it. This is almost like Kenner colors, I'd imagine. And even the underlayer is brighter for the gray suit. You can see the sleeves, the gloves, the under legs here. Gives you a better look at some of the details in that sculpt that you may have missed with the original because he's so dark. You do get the painted Mandalorian chest little piece in the middle there. You get the two buttons like I said. On the shoulder you're still getting the Mandalorian logo done in black, very similar paint job to the original there. And then this armor plate done in yellow on the right side. A bit of asymmetry here, kind of the Mandalorians of the TV show. They live underground, they're kind of scrounging for jobs and things like that, so they don't always have armor that's brand new. They're always replacing pieces and stuff like that. So that's why you see him here. He's got one gauntlet that's like a purple. He's got yellow all over. Different damages on different pieces. You see the two leg gauntlets are different colors. And that's the same design with the original Mandalorian, who we have tons of figures of. And finally, now we got the Beskar Mandalorian, where he's in the all Beskar armor that he got from melting down these credits. So that's going to do it aesthetically for the figure. If you have that Heavy Mando, you know what the sculpt's like and the articulation, but we're going to go over it anyway. So you're actually getting a ball joint at the top of the head and also at the base of the neck, which isn't very common with Black Series. It's kind of a new thing for them. With those combined, the head still doesn't look up very much. It's about that much, and it's going to look down there. You're getting some decent tilt range because of that. Torso's on a nice ball joint. Works very well with the Mandalorian's armor, so it goes back that much and forward that much. You're getting a butterfly shoulder, and then you're also getting a hinge and a swivel at the shoulder. You can see these shoulder pieces are a soft rubber. They actually go over the arms here, so when you can get the arms all the way up past 90. The elbows are single jointed, but they're pinless and they're really deep, so you're going to be able to go a little bit past 90 here as well, and that's pretty useful when you're trying to pose them around with that big minigun. You actually get a rotation at these wrist gauntlets as well, right up against that joint here, so that's pretty impressive stuff. Then you're also getting a hinge and a swivel at the wrist. You get no rotation at the waist. You're going to get a splits on the figure that is pretty impressive. You're getting the upper thigh cut, then a nice double jointed knee, pretty much going all the way back. Very good on a large tank character. No cut at the boot, and then you're getting a hinge and an ankle rocker at the boot. And overall, that's going to do it for your look at the Credit Collection Heavy Mando. And now we'll go ahead and do my favorite part, and let's do some comparisons. And we'll start out with the OG Mandalorians, that being Boba Fett. This is the retro carded Empire Strikes Back anniversary figure. And then we also have Jango Fett, this one being the Bounty Hunter gaming grade. So these are the two most recent versions of Boba and Jango Fett from the Black Series. And you can see he's a lot bigger than these two. He's definitely wider, and he's got a bit of height. And overall, really love the Mandalorian armor and just iconic stuff here. But there would be no Mandalorian TV show without these two right in front of us. For some Clone Wars characters, we got Captain Rex, who's using the old school Stormtrooper body mold, and then we have the Kamino Stormtrooper, who's on the brand new mold, who just came out about a month ago. And it'd be really cool to get Pre Vizsla from the Clone Wars, so we could have both versions of Jon Favreau in Star Wars, if you didn't know he voiced that character in Clone Wars. And with the new wave of Clone Wars figures coming with Ahsoka and the two Mandalorians and also the Ahsoka Clone Trooper, it's going to be very cool to be building up a display like that. And then finally, for some more characters from the Mandalorian show, we got the Remnant Stormtrooper, we got the Mandalorian, this is the carbonized version from the first release, and then we had to throw in Baby Yoda as well, or the child if you're a purist. And overall, that's going to do it for your look at the Heavy Mando from the Credit Collection. And overall, it is what it is. It's a repaint, but a really cool, creative way to get repaints out there by making figures inspired by that end credit artwork. And for a character like this who's a lot of unique sculpt, you do kind of have to get some reuse out there. I got no issue with it. They obviously suckered me. I'm buying 2 of each because I really love the look of these guys mint on card, but also they're a lot of fun to play around with like this. So I'm going to recommend them, and we're going to be reviewing the IG-11 as well as the Cara Dune. The only Credit Collection figures that haven't shipped yet are from Amazon, those being the Mandalorian himself, and then also the Imperial Death Trooper. And leave it up to Amazon, of course, getting the main character, with them being the slowest company to ever ship out action figures. So we're going to have all these side characters for now and not an actual Mandalorian to go with them. But for now, he's going to look good with my carbonized figure. And then I also have the Beskar Mando on the way. He's actually going to be a review this week as well. So thank you for tuning in to the first video of Mando Week. I'm going to be posting some figure photography of this guy on Instagram. And throughout the whole week, we're going to be taking a look at some Mandalorian figures. So stick around here on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.